Hey guys, welcome to Video Game Corner. It's me, Jason, and today I'm going to be talking about the latest episode of Walking Dead, which is episode 410. So, last week we got to delve into the psyches of Michonne and Carl. Got to kind of see while Rick basically slept through most of the episode in his little mini coma. So we got to see some history on Michonne, and we got to see Carl actually realize he's not as tough as he thinks he is. So, same with Michonne, she's not as tough as she thinks she is. She actually, is starting to break down. But this week we look at Tyrese, the two little girls, I can't remember their names, but they're sisters. We find out that Judith is alive, that Tyrese did save her, for sure. And we also look in the fact that Daryl and Maggie's younger sister, I can't remember her name, I'm terrible with names today, the blonde. We get to look into them, and then we also get to see Maggie and Tyrese's sister and that other dude go into, another guy, they go in to find Glenn. And then we also see Glenn, and then one of the girls that was actually the sister of the girl that was dating the governor when they attacked the prison. So we have 4 different storylines going on, and it's all more character development. It's all delving into psyches of people, and everybody, and we can already see what's going on is everybody's getting ready to come together again. So let's start with Tyrese. Tyrese has got the 2 little girls, or actually it starts out with, let's go back, it starts out with Daryl and Maggie's younger sister, and they're basically, you can tell Daryl has had it. Daryl's tired of running, he's tired of fighting, he's just tired, but there's a survival thing in him where he just won't die. Now, on the other hand, the girl, she's remembering her father, Herschel, telling her to basically don't give up hope. And it was she in the beginning, she's reading an excerpt from her diary where she's talking about everything that's happening, how the prison was going to be a home. Then, of course, we know it didn't turn out that way. Because in this world, anything can be taken away at any moment. And there's nothing to help. There's no help. It's a very lonely place, in a way. And so we have Daryl, who basically, I think the only reason he's doing anything is because the nobility in the man is that he doesn't care so much more about himself as he won't let her get hurt. It's just how he is. There's something about him. I mean, when Carol's daughter died, or when Carol's daughter was missing back, I think, in season 2, he wouldn't give up. He just wouldn't give up. And I think that's also linked to this, is he's just at a point where he's just like, why bother? I did that before, and she turned out to be a walker. So they're going, and she's like, I'm going to go look for him. Are you coming or not? And he's just like, fine. He goes, so they're tracking. They find like a trail, and it looks like some people have died. But it turns out, then we get to see what happened. So we see Tyrese and the 2 little girls, and one of the older girls, and they both love Carol, because Carol was teaching them how to survive. And then Rick found out that Carol had killed a couple people because of the disease, because of the flu, and he kicked her out. He said, "Don't come back." So she took a car and left. Now the older girl remembers everything, but the young girl's still very, very sweet and innocent. So the older girl's like, quit your crying, quit being a big baby, and she's just like, going crazy. And the little girl's still, a little girl. So Tyrese hears some screaming, and he's got Judith, so he gives them Judith, the baby. He takes off. He's like, here's a gun. Shoot if you see any walkers. Run. It's okay. Run. Run towards me. And the older girl, she's got Judith, and Judith is crying. She puts her hand over her face and starts suffocating her. She's like going crazy. And of course, walkers are showing up finally. The younger girl's like, with her gun, and she's like telling her sister, help me, help me. Her sister's just out of it. She just wants that baby dead. and it's gonna show up to something later, which is really scary. Let's see what happens. Because there was something like this in the comic where you had these twin boys, and one of them kills his brother, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry, he'll come back later," because he thinks that him being a walker is the same as being alive and human. And he just didn't know, but we'll see. I think that's what they're trying to parallel. But, so Tyrese is helping these guys. They end up, one gets eaten, one gets bit in the neck, and the walkers are there, and the girl's shooting, and she's not doing anything. The other girl's out of it, trying to kill the baby. And then it goes back to Tyrese, and then he hears, and then after that, those guys, they take care of everything. One guy's bit, and he knows that he's done for. One guy's got chewed up and killed, so he turns around, goes back, and he turns around, and we figure the girls are dead or something, but lo and behold, who saves them? Carol. Carol shows up. She says that she went back to the prison. Now, I don't know if it's a convenient plot turn or not. She said that nobody knows that she was that Rick kicked her out yet, because all the stuff happened when he got back. He didn't get a chance to tell anybody but Maggie. So she said that she was on her way back and saw that the prison was destroyed and all this and that, and they're like, "Oh great, we're so glad to see you, we're so glad you're back." But the whole thing is, I'm wondering is, why was she come? Did she see did she hear the explosions? Was she not far away? I think that's what it might have been, but we'll see. So you go to Maggie, and she's trying to find Glenn. And she's got, Tyrese's younger sister, and then this guy that's got the hots for her. So they go in. She's like, "I'm going to find Glenn," and Tyrese's sister's like, "No, we gotta go run." And then the other guy's like, "We gotta stick together. I'm going with Maggie." So they all go. They find the bus that got away with all the people from the prison who were running. They get in there, and they look in the window, and Maggie's a complete emotional wreck because her husband's missing, of course, makes sense. They see that everybody in the bus is a walker. They all turned. So it's like, oh crap-a-roni. And Glenn was in the bus the last time we saw him. So they go in there, they start letting them out one by one. They end up coming out. They end up killing them all. She goes in there, she's looking for Glenn. Glenn's not in there. So she doesn't know what to do. She's crying and freaking out. She's breaking down. She's like, "We gotta find him." Then we go to Glenn. Glenn wakes up. He's in the prison. He's laying on this thing. I don't know. I don't really remember what happened, but yeah, he's in the prison. He wakes up and he sits up and he ends up going in the prison, getting his riot gear outfit so he can kind of protect himself. He gets prepared. He goes out there, starts running through the walkers, and he sees that girl that was the younger sister of the girl whose kid got attacked and turned, and she was the one that was dating the governor. And she's sitting there, and Glenn goes up to her and he walks, and she's sitting in like a little chain link cage with just a gun full of bullets. She hasn't shot one shot. And she wanted to be the tough cop and everything before all this. And she's basically just a poser. And she's realizing it now, that she's, with all this going on, is that she's just a fake. And so Glenn's talking to her. He looks at the gun. He says it's completely full. And she's like, she's like, "I just couldn't do it." And he's like, "Are you going to just sit here?" He says, "I need your help." So they get out, and they get out to the street, and they get away from the walkers in the prison. And she's like, "He told us you were bad people, but I know that's not true now." And she's like, "I don't know why you'd accept help from me." And he's like, "I don't want help from you. I need your help. So come on." So he's basically telling her, "You got to help me to start working your way out of this crap you did to us. That's your first step towards retribution." So they go and do their thing, and it's really interesting. The episode was so at the end of the episode, Glenn or Maggie, when Maggie shows up, this guy says they're on the train tracks, and the guy that got bit in the neck, he's telling Tyrese and Carol, not, did I say Maggie? I meant Carol. When Carol comes back, I don't know, and the two little girls and baby Judith, and he says, my mistake was staying on the tracks. He says, but that's why, and he points to the sign, and there's this sign that says, we take everybody, we'll help everybody, and, you know, go this way, you know, down the tracks. There's a map, and there's a safe haven. So they're like, let's go. The kids are like, can we go? Or the one little girl. So they're like, let's go. So then it goes back to Maggie and Tyrese's sister and the other guy, and this they end up, after they fight all these, or no, it actually, let me go back. I actually forgot this part. Or they end up killing the some more zombies or something. Anyway, I'm getting twisted around, but if you guys aren't sure about something, ask, and somebody will answer, and I'll answer in the comments. But what happens is this truck shows up, and Maggie looks up and says, "Did you get a good show?" And this guy gets out, and this like Puerto Rican girl, and this heavy set guy, and this big muscular guy, and he says something about needing their help, and I'm like, it's Abraham. Abraham is this character from the comics. He was this big dude, and he was like ex-military, and he's just a big tough guy, right? And he was dating like this Puerto Rican, little skinny Puerto Rican girl who was with them, and then there was this heavy-set dude who was pretending to be a ex-government scientist. And so that's who that was. It was this trio. And I'm like, this is awesome. Abraham, my favorite character in the comics, shows up. So I was pretty happy. I can't wait. I hate how he dies in the comics, though. It's so anticlimactic. He's sitting there talking to Rick and gets shot in the head. And it's like, oh, man. By the way, guys, this is not spoiler-free. So, this is just me talking about the show and the comics. So, if you guys don't like spoilers, I'm going to put something in the description saying, or I'm going to put something in the title like spoilers. So, just so you guys, you know, I don't want to piss everybody off. So, yeah, it was just like, whoa, my favorite character. So I'm hoping that he doesn't get killed right away, or if he does get killed, that they don't do it, that he has more of a heroic ending, because he just got killed. I mean, the guy was so cool. He was such a great character, too, and I hated him dying. I hated when Tyrese died in the comics. So I'm hoping they make it in this, because you never know at this show. It doesn't follow the rules of the comics so much, or the same storylines, but it has the same kind of rules that you love a character and they die. So, anyway, so that's pretty much it. So I'm looking forward to the next episode, and I'll have a video up for that. Hopefully I can get everybody's names right, because I feel like a dumb shit for messing up their names. But anyway, guys, this is Video Game Corner, and I'm Jason, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.